Looks like my ancestry results are in. Let's see here. Well, crap. Turns out I'm evolved from primates. Who would have thought? This Maracaball's family tree is quite diverse, but once you get into that second generation, you can see, well, yeah, there's definitely some primate balls in there. I guess unless you're Japan, who's evolved from cats. Hey, Paul, says Alabama. Do mean I related to this here monkey? Yeah, Alabama. Monkeys are in fact one of our closest cousins. Ah, thanks, Pa. No problem there, kiddo. No, wait! I mean, evolution is a made-up lie! This post absolutely destroying my people. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, and it's a very bad idea to tell us that our closest cousins are primates, because we do like our cousins. Oh, this poor, poor monkey. I like how incest in Alabama has gone hand in hand for so many decades. It's obviously still going strong in the internet age. The most feared items in the world! In North America, it's a belt. No, Dad, don't hit me again! In Southeast Asia, it's a slipper. There honestly should be an Olympic throwing slipper game. Some moms are just like really good at this. In East Asia, it's words. How you would think you get first place with grade this kind of disappoint. Finally, in Africa, it's ruler. It's due time to set your borders. This one's been carved up. The punchline is the British did some of the most horrific punishments of them all, and they did it with this ruler, which sometimes can be used as a literal weapon. I've heard kids like getting beat with rulers. But in this example, we're talking about how the British carved up their former African empire, or just their empire as a whole, the Middle East too. Even without having an extensive knowledge of different ethnic groups around the world, you should know if there's any national border with somewhat straight lines, they didn't do a very good job, because human beings just literally do not actually live like that. Also, the way the British set borders, it meant certain places were getting access to certain resources and others not so much. I mean, it should be obvious that this is all colonial powers in general, not just the British. Loved seeing the reference to the Philippines war flag here, because it's inverted. That's how mad that mama actually was with her slipper. And unfortunately, we're all still dealing with this trauma. I know I haven't been doing my part in NATO, but this project I've been working on for the past year will really be a game changer. May I present to you my latest contribution to NATO? Oh man, what's it gonna be, Canada? What? Canada, what the frick is that? It's my new army logo. Oh, they've literally been booted out the door. Well, thanks for that, Canada. Truly a fantastic contribution. I covered this earlier this week, but Canada actually has not officially changed their logo. It does remain this like it was previously, but yeah, I can see where the confusion started because this is the screenshot we all saw. Regardless, what was this pixel art design? It's supposed to represent like their new camo, but still. Who would choose to design literally anything like this? I guess coming from our neighbors to the north, I really shouldn't be surprised about anything at this point. Canadian Army now led by General Ben Dover. Man, NATO really needed this update. Haha, cannot reach. Wait, what does you do? No, extendo. Oh no. And so you get my snakiness from my ancestors. Seems like Czechia is really confused right now. I think that's actually a Czechoslovakia. Okay, let me explain. Chile is a very long country. A very long, very thin country. And this Native American ball that sits on top of these mountains, I'm assuming it's supposed to be the Inca or just any indigenous people. And remember, Chile was a former colony of Spain, and they're the ones that actually kind of set the borders. So in a way, you can kind of blame them for why this country looks the way it does. Although I'd argue it really just has to do with the Andes Mountains. This thing is just like a giant wall that divides up Chile and Argentina. So that's them explaining their origin story. I like to think though he's talking to a Czechia ball or a Czechoslovakian ball more importantly, because they too were also a very long country in Europe. Just instead of going vertical, they're going horizontal. There's other reason why Czechia is there, but I like the geography memes. Okay, you no German scum. You stand accused of destroying 6 million Jews. Sickening. Absolutely disgusting. Horrible. As well as 8 million Soviets. Tyrannical. Deplorable. Awful, says France. 1.8 million Poles is bad. You make me sick. Absolute monster. 500,000 Romani people. 300,000 Serbs. How could you? Bloody psychopath. Shame yourself. The group that is often left off, well, at least when discussing the crimes of the no Germans. Yeah, the Europeans, yeah. Love the old reference to the occupied German flag, more specifically Allied occupied Germany, I guess. Also the way the Soviet Union only says is bad to the Poles that were destroyed because, well, the Soviets kind of had something to do with that. I mean, it's not like they carved up this nation beforehand, right? The way Germany just stays quiet for the whole thing. So how is results of poll we making? Well, responds Austria. We asked several countries if they'd prefer to encounter a bear or Russia in forest. And, all people answered with bear. I guess we should have saw this coming. So, what is your reaction to this poll, bear? Why would you ask them that? I am real victim, you Yeah, we haven't asked you, Mr. Russia. This has been a hotly debated topic on the internet recently. It's referring to people, but a lot of women choosing to be with a bear than a man in a forest. But this comic does a little twist on that. Unsurprisingly, all these countries that border Russia or used to border Russia are definitely choosing the bear, though. It's actually a really interesting reference because the national animal of Russia is a bear. And that country is literally referred to sometimes as the Russian bear. Funny enough, I'm now thinking of how many Russians like wrestle bears. If any country were to choose the bear over whatever else in a forest, it'd probably be them because they could fight it. There's so many videos of this online. Everyone knows I do not mess with bears. I don't care what man-made horror beyond my comprehension is the other option. I'm not choosing the damn bear. I've seen just way too many horrific videos. Also pretty funny seeing a small reference to Poland in this comic. Also not surprised they chose the bear since they literally put a bear in their military once. How you call yourself Republic of China? Wu is older. Wu is China. How darings you? Respect your elders. Jeez, what's got their eyes so high? It's over, name China, responds Brazil. I've got better things to worry about. Same, goodbyings, US of A. Wouldn't it be easier just to call me America? But you is not a whole continent. Well, that doesn't change a thing. Does so? You is not all of us. Oh, please. I'm the only relevant one on this side of the world anyways. Without NATO, you're nothing. Don't you bring NATO into this oversized Portugal. Portugal? You're the oversized Britain. Don't you mean UK, you green shit? I don't even know what they're saying here. What's got their eyes so high, asks China. It's over, name America. So I guess we have a very similar situation on this side of the globe. I mean, kind of, at least when it comes to names. China and Taiwan argue about over who's the real China, but specifically Brazil, but all that are in the American continents argue over this, that people from the US shouldn't be called American, or at least everyone on the American continents should be considered American, which geographically, yeah, I actually completely get that argument. But at the same time, maybe they both could be right. I mean, just because everyone is American doesn't mean that the US can't still be called Americans, right? I actually thought this post was going to be referencing Brazil's old name as the First Republic, or when they were known as the United States of Brazil. Maybe that's where part of the rivalry comes from. I don't know. What do you guys think down below? The year is 1240 AD. Mongol. Here you goings again, calling me Mongol. Very funny. Ha ha. Go back to step, Mr. Mongi Mongol. Ha ha. Extremely funny. It has been almost 600 years since I've come here. I can into European. I can into Jesus, and I do arts and cultures and stuff. I even make an alphabet for spread word of God to all Slavs. Bulgaria no longer interlooper of Asia. I lives here now making dealing of it. That's not what I meant. What then? Hi. Holy frog. I knew that was gonna be the final panel. I mean, funny enough, there were obviously hordes before this point. Bulgaria could have easily enough thought Byzantium here was just referring to another horde in Asia. Unfortunately, 1240 AD is when Mongolia was gonna get really giant, and they were going to definitely punish Byzantium and Bulgaria. Funny enough, though they were close, they never actually fully conquered Bulgaria, or obviously Byzantium for that matter. Remember, early Bulgars began inhabiting the continent of Europe around 370. Actually have very interesting migration maps. Welcome to NATO, Finland. Of yay. Nice being many, glad that you're into NATO, Finland, says Germany. Hey! Of waitings a minute. Why is this group into looking familiar? Something is not being right. Oh, these are all the former members of the Axis in World War II, who are now also all in NATO. Funny how that all works out. It's a weird coincidence. Pizza. Transylvania being mine? No, it's mine. They are obviously missing a couple members, specifically in Asia. You know, there's no Japan or Thailand. But there has been rumors that NATO could expand to that continent. Funny reference, I actually didn't even catch that yet. Big thanks to my patrons this month. Kansas was mentioned. KingBearHaze. JohnDenver. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood. Archaeology. aPhatNarwhal. Carmel Saida. Pavlik. DOOCHBAGGINS.
Fredrik
LuxembourgLover.
Tambre.
Friend.
KirinoIsBestGirl.
If you hear this, I love you. The Mexican
and
760.
ZaneyBoi.